Hello and welcome everyone to our webinar. My name is Martin Růžička and I'm Cloud Specialist at Revolgy. Today I'd like to discuss the topic of IT infrastructure for a digital fintech product. We all know that building any sort of digital product is a difficult task. The specifics of the fintech industry make it a lot harder. You are dealing with the most sensitive data of your clients and have access to their finances. This is a lot of responsibility. Your business simply can't afford any weak spots in your IT infrastructure. Also, of all the industries, your business has the strictest regulations to follow. Today I'd like to show you how you can make sure your app stays stable, secure and compliant with all the regulations by designing your IT infrastructure using the products of Google Cloud Platform. We will talk about security, efficiency, and we will show selected services you can use, for example, for storing and analyzing big data and more. Let's start with the security. Can we really trust Google with our users' data? This is the question is asked by many and is especially important for businesses operating with sensitive data of their clients, such as fintech companies. The short answer is definitely yes, but let me explain. Google has an army of security engineers making sure that the most sensitive data of your clients are stored in a true fortress and comply with all the regulations you can think of. They certify our products against rigorous global security, privacy, and financial control standards, including IACPA, SOC, and meet industry-specific standards like Japan FISC and PCI DSS. The on-premises data centers can never match this level of security. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter where you actually store your data. What matters is how you take care of them, and that is the power of global giant, who has way more resources and experiences than any business on its own. But the main benefit is that working with Google, you really don't have to spend your time and money taking care of the security of your data. You can focus on what's most important to you, building great products and developing your business. As I mentioned before, Google is being regularly audited to make sure it stays compliant with all the different regulations. However, we still have to consider these regulations when we implement the logic of our applications. For example, we need to set the permissions so that the user's data cannot be read by other people. Google provides us with many tools that protect your systems from hackers. We can see that also elite Irish banks and Travelins fintech companies are trusting Google as well. So let me show you some of the services of Google Cloud Platform that you can use to protect your infrastructure from security breaches. We will start with Cloud Armor, which can detect DDoS attacks and forbid traffic from these servers. Cloud Armor also offers web application firewall, which prevents SQL injections or cross-site scripting. Let's have a look at a diagram showing Cloud Armor connected to the load balancer that is being monitored. You can see here that it checks all traffic coming through the load balancer and check for suspicious traffic, which then can be blocked. Another tool we can use to enhance our security is Forseti. Forseti is an open source project which monitors your policies. It sets specific rules telling us which resources can access other resources within our projects. It also keeps track of changes within our infrastructure and enforces security measures on all of the resources. It is a powerful tool. Google itself uses elements of forced security to secure its own use of Google Cloud Platform. Next, bulletproof security isn't the only benefit of Google Cloud Platform. One of the main topics for fintech companies, as well as any other company with a digital product, is operational efficiency. By building your product on Google Cloud Platform provides you with wide range of managed services that you are being charged for based on the actual usage. This way, you don't need to hire additional engineers just to take care of the maintenance. Your development team can focus on all their time and energy on building a great product instead. And as a developer myself, I can assure you that they will be way happier and way more satisfied with their jobs. But most of all, they will become as efficient as it can be. Managed services allow you to distribute responsibilities for these services to all developers, analysts in your team. A person who creates it also takes care of the maintenance, and if something doesn't work, fixes it. Simply, instead of separate operations and development teams that sometimes don't communicate with each other efficiently enough, everyone is DevOps in this scenario. As we pay only for what we use with those services, the initial cost when you don't have many users is close to nothing. Most of the services even offer a free tier, where you can give it a try and see if it works for you with no strings attached. On top of that, when you decide to work with Google Partner, a local company that resells Google services as Revolgy, they can provide you with additional free credits for your projects. All this combined in the real life means that you will basically pay nothing for the use of Google Cloud Platform for the very first few months. Also, having a stack of interesting technologies to work with will make your company a very attractive employer for the most talented developers. And another reason why developers love Google Cloud Platform is super fast deployment. They can release new version in a matter of hours. So let's have a closer look at some of the services that are really easy to use. When you start a new company, the first thing you usually need is internal systems. App Engine platform is a perfect tool for this. It gives you the possibility to implement internal web application or APIs which you can use for your internal needs. It is in the range of so-called platform as a service tools, which means you don't have to take care of the underlying infrastructure and software on which it is running. All is set and ready to go. You just write your code in Python, Java, Node.js, Go, Ruby, PHP or .NET and easily deploy it. Another great benefit of App Engine is also the ability to scale to zero. This means that if you don't use a particular service, you are not being charged for it. No more bare metal servers just lying around and gathering dust. Your resources are used in the most efficient way possible, which also reduces the total cost of ownership of your infrastructure. Now let's move on to storing your users' data in the cloud. The best solution I know for it is cloud storage. Users' data can be encrypted and are always stored in multiple locations. This improves the durability of the data, and in practice it means that if by any chance there is a problem with one server, your data are still accessible from other locations, thus nothing can ever be lost. Isn't it awesome compared to hosting storage in our own data center? I think yes. PubSub, which stands for Publish Subscribe Messaging Bus Asynchronously, processes messages from all parts of the infrastructure. The principle is that it simply transfers text or JSON objects between different services or front-end apps. Services subscribe for topics and read messages that are posted there. This is a very useful tool for any digital product-based company. The above mentioned messages combined with the functions of Google Firebase can be used, for example, to deliver push notifications to mobile devices of your users. And one of my favorite services of Google Cloud Platform is Cloud Function. Why? Let me explain. It's a very convenient tool that allows us to run a code in response to specific events. They are ideal for running small tasks defined in small functions, processing events, triggering backups, or sending notifications to Slack, chat, or even respond to API calls. In our example, we can trigger it based on upload of user's file, for example, ID card, to cloud storage, and do image processing to check that provided ID card is valid. It's a function as a service, so we don't care about underlying infrastructure, runtime, and not even scaling. It scales as we need. We can use Node.js, Python, Go, or Java, then define triggers, and that's all we need to know to use it. And of course, it's super cheap, just 20 cents per millions of invocations. Another important aspect of fintech business is the vast amount of data that it processes every day. Storing this data securely is one thing, and another is learning from it about your customers' behaviors and improving your product based on these insights. Google Cloud Platform offers a few services that will help you make driven decisions really fast. You will be able to store your data securely, process and analyze it with blazing speed, quickly react to the demands of the market, and always be a step ahead of your competitors. Let me quickly introduce some of these services to you. Let's start with BigTable. It's a NoSQL database that can store and scale big data. It is ideal as a data warehouse for data that will be used for analytical purposes. It's designed to be used simply to store objects and nothing more. Another important service you should get familiar with, if you aren't already, is BigQuery. It is a big data SQL database used for analysis. BigQuery can process terabytes of data in seconds at very low costs. First terabyte is free, and then it's just $5 per another terabyte. It uses standard SQL language to extract data from the datasets and tables. And as we said, billing is based on the processed data, which again makes the usage extremely efficient. You only pay for what you actually use. DataFlow is a very convenient service used for processing data in batches or streams. It is completely serverless and can be used with standard Apache Beam SDK, allowing us to decompose processing into smaller parallel bundles which can be processed independently. Or we can use it to move our data to a different storage or even transform our data to different formats. It is ideal for user analytics, data science, ETL workloads, or log processing. Another service I'd like you to know about is DataProc. If you ever use tools such as Apache Hadoop and Spark and others and have a working knowledge of them, you will surely have no trouble creating complex data processing pipelines using DataProc. It is a very simple tool, for example, for log processing, reporting, machine learning, and much more. It isn't entirely serverless. The provisioning of clusters is manual and can generally be described as infrastructure as service. Infrastructure is provided, but we have to handle the operation systems and software running on it. We use it for processing of big data sets across large clusters of computers. Fintech companies usually have mobile applications for communication with their clients. Here, Firebase comes in handy. We can use Firebase, which is a service that connects to PubSub and resends notification to notification server of Apple, Google, and then to mobile devices of your users. For newly established companies, usually every penny counts, so they focus on the smallest cost as possible. And Google fortunately provides you with a free tier, so you can try GCP services with no cost if you stick to their limits. And the limits are like 2 million of invocations per month for cloud functions, 10 gigabytes of messages sent in PubSub, 1 terabyte of queries in BigQuery, or 5 gigabytes of data saved in storage. If we combine all the services together, we can run our infrastructure at no costs at all. It is really cool compared to classic way of building a data center on our own, where you'd have to invest tons of money in the purpose of the servers in the first place. And if free tier isn't enough for you, then you can try to get some credits. Just try to ask your Google partner and then you can start to play. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that this presentation helped you gain some insights into how GCP can help you drive your business grow. And hopefully I busted a few myths about the cloud in general. One thing to take away from this that I'd like to emphasize again is that Google Cloud Platform services are really simple to use and will significantly help you drive your business grow. If you'd like to learn more about how to leverage the full potential of Google Cloud Platform, don't hesitate to contact us. At Revolgy, we are Google's premier partner for infrastructure and can provide you with consultations and advice on how to design your infrastructure in a way it will bring you the most benefits. Just get in touch on ask@revolgy.com and we will get back to you in no time. I am looking forward to hearing back from you.